a studio with all the games projects that people have shared. This was for week 3, which was Games Week. There are 150 projects that are currently in here. And so I tried to sort them since I'm the owner of this studio, and I tried to like move things around, and it seems like I can't do that. So I don't think that you can manually go through and shift around the way that projects are ordered. But if you look on the right-hand side over here, there's a button that says Sort By. And so you can use that to sort the projects within the studio in different ways. So by views, by loves, by which ones have been remixed the most, just, you know, alphabetically forwards or backwards. And here on your profile page, if you see at the bottom, it shows all the studios that the ScratchNet team follows as well as curates. So I would also look into that as if there are different naming sort of strategies that you want to use for studios that you curate, like Tips and Tricks 1, you know, Inspiration Studio 1, 2, 3, or even some educators I know will create studios for their classes. So it might be like Class 1A, Class 1B, Class 2A, 2B. So they'll use different sort of naming structures to organize their projects. And then for creating the thumbnail, I think there was perhaps a question about that. You can change it, as if you see when I hover my mouse over this thumbnail, normally it'll just update to be whatever is the most recent project that you've added to the studio. It will take that thumbnail just automatically. But if you want to change it, you can click on this change button here on the top left corner and add anything that you want. So I just created a little thumbnail for the game studio, and you can update that with any image that you want. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a thumbnail of a project, but I've checked this button here that says allow anyone to add projects. And so when I unclicked it, it says, I don't know if you saw this, but all Scratchers can now add projects. When I unclicked it, it said only the owners and curators can add projects. So as the owner, I can, of course, add any of my projects by using this drawer at the bottom that says my shared, favorites, or recent views. So you as a teacher could go in and add your students' projects if they're things that you've recently viewed, projects that you've favorited. If you go through and you look at your students' projects and favorite them, or you can also add them as curators. So there's the third tab here. There's projects, comments. People can also comment on your studio, and you can also add curators. So here there's a button to invite them, and you can add your students each of their usernames and add them as curators. So then they can add their projects as well as other projects to the studio. So you would just have to go through and clarify that that's the option that you're using, and that I think they would get a notification up here in their little message mailbox that they are now a curator to a particular studio, and that could